You don't need to be a designer to get these nice looking app icons with liquid glass. When you download Xcode, Apple gives you a tool called Icon Composer, and it does all this glassy stuff for you. So you can have an icon that feels right at home on Apple platforms. Icon Composer takes your flat layers of your design, you drop them into Icon Composer, it applies the glass styling, and then you can edit and adjust the design how you like. And when you're done, you'll get a single .icon file to add to your project. This gives you your app icon in light mode, dark mode, tinted, and this one icon will work on all platforms. So you don't need a separate icon for iPhone, Mac, Vision Pro, Watch, etc. Let's rebuild the simple weather app icon so you can see this in action. The first thing you need to know is how you even get to Icon Composer. Here I am in Xcode, a brand new project. To be honest, the project doesn't even matter because I'm gonna go to Xcode, open Developer Tools, Icon Composer, and then tap New Document. And now we're in Icon Composer, or you can open up Spotlight with Command Space and type in Icon Composer, and it'll pull it up right there. But now that we're in Icon Composer, let's rebuild the weather icon to show you this thing in action. Now the first thing you're gonna need are your layers, and I'm gonna open that up in Finder. I already have this. You can see I have a cloud and a sun. Now these are just basic shapes, and that's what Apple recommends. Don't have any shadows or gradients or anything intricate on these shapes. They should be basic, because you'll do all that in Icon Composer. So I'll drop my cloud in for the first group, and I'll drop my sun in for the second group. Now what these groups are, they are different layers. As you can see here with the podcast icon example, each of these layers represents a layer of glass that you can style separately to get the look you're going for. And Apple recommends that these layers be flat and simple, because if your app has a lot of detail, a lot of intricacies, it's not gonna come across well in liquid glass, or if it has a lot of text, it just might not be the best fit for this style. You can see numerous examples of Apple's own app icons getting redesigned to adopt liquid glass, for better or for worse. But now that our layers are in place, they're in groups, I can start dragging them around. You can see I'm moving the cloud around, I'm moving the sun around. The sizing isn't quite right. So when I have the cloud selected over there on the left, back on the right pane, you can see it's at 100%. Let's say I want this to be 150. You can use the up arrows to really dial it in, or you can just type in the percentage. 150 looks good for now. Maybe I want the sun to be a little smaller, so I'll select the sun on the left, drop that down to about 70%, make it a little smaller. And again, you can drag this around. And instead of eyeballing it, up here at the top, you can turn on the grid lines. And the grid lines are important because you see this big circle, well, that's gonna be your watch icon, and I believe your Vision OS icon as well. Those are circular. So you wanna make sure your design fits in that circle with a little breathing room. So I'm gonna lower this down to about 140 to give a little breathing room, and I'm not gonna spend too much time dialing this in, but you get the idea. Turn on the grid lines, line up your app icon exactly how you need it to be. And once you have that where you want it, you can turn the grid lines off back up at the top. While we're up here, you see the 26 and 27. So iOS 27 tweaked the liquid glass design a little bit and change it from iOS 26, but if you're still supporting the 27 and 26 releases for Apple platforms, you're gonna have to make sure it looks good on both. So here's the toggle. You can go back to iOS 26 to see what it looks like, and then toggle back and forth, and you can see how they changed and adjusted the liquid glass between the Apple OS 27 releases. So there you can see both and make it look good on both versions. And to the right, you can change the background of the icon composer because people have various different wallpapers. So I can change the color here. And this is interesting because we'll get a nice colorful one. Down here on the right, you can see we have dark mode and tinted. Well, this is where changing the background in your icon composer can really show you how your app is gonna show up on a tinted background when the user has a different wallpaper style behind it. So that's pretty cool. I'm gonna go back to a solid color for the sake of the tutorial. And again, down in the right, I'm on tinted or clear, you might call it. You can go to dark mode, or you can go to light mode. And the last thing I wanna show you is how you can style these layers individually to really dial in the look and feel you're going for. So I'll select my cloud, because that's the one I wanna style. And then you'll notice the color up here is default. So default selected because that's the color I'm on. Watch when I pick dark mode down here in the lower right. Now dark. So this is how you can style a separate dark mode icon versus a light mode icon if you wanted to do that. We're not gonna go that far, so we're gonna go to all, because I wanna style this cloud for all of it. Again, I'm just showing you a quick basic example. So I'm gonna lower the opacity to 80. I'm gonna set the fill as a gradient, and we'll make the gradient a white at the top, and then a very light blue at the bottom. And then you can see I make this bottom gradient with an opacity of 20 to make it look clear. And I like that because maybe it's a little too clear, but I wanted to show off how you can make it look really glassy on your icon. Maybe we'll do like 50%. But you can tweak and dial that in. And like I said, you can do this per layer to really get the awesome glass icon that you need. And once you've designed your icon however you want, go to File, Save. This is that .icon file I was talking about. And I'm gonna name it Weather Icon. Hit save. Now there's two ways to get it into your Xcode project. The easier way is to use Bitrig. Just give Bitrig your .icon file, say, hey, make this my app icon. It'll handle it for you. Or you can manually drag it into Xcode. I'll show you how to do that real quick. So we'll go back to Xcode and actually open up my Finder. What I need to do is drag the weather icon file that we just created, drag it into my Xcode project, that you see here. Go ahead and bring it in. And now you see I have the weather icon in my Xcode project, and you see this button down here, Open with Icon Composer. When I click on that, it'll open up Icon Composer, and I can make any tweaks and adjustments to my design that I need. But there's one more step to make this your official icon. So select on your project, make sure you have the right target selected. In general, kind of down about halfway in the middle, you'll see App Icon. This is not using Icon Composer. This is the old way where you had to create your app icon in the design tool and bring it in. But we want to make this match what we named our icon file, weather icon. Remember, that's what we named it. Hit return. And now when I build and run my app on the iPhone 17 Pro simulator, go to Device Hub here. When this pops up, you'll see the app. The app doesn't matter. We want to go to the home screen to see our app icon. All right, our app is up and running. Let's go to the home screen. There is our app icon tutorial with the app icon we just created. And again, once you see it on device, you're like, I don't like the way that turned out. Go back to your Xcode project, hit weather icon, open with Icon Composer, and make any design tweaks you need. So that's Icon Composer. Like I said, you bring in your flat shapes, it breaks it down into groups. You can style each group individually to get the glassy icon that you like. And you can just give Bitrig your .icon file, tell it to set it up for you, it'll handle that. And if you're not familiar with Bitrig, Bitrig is a Mac app that helps you build high quality, premium, native Swift apps with AI. It's built by the co-creators of SwiftUI that were formerly at Apple, so it integrates amazingly well with first-party Apple frameworks and specializes in Swift and SwiftUI. The team is rapidly shipping updates on a weekly basis, so the product gets better and better and better. Check it out at bitrig.com.